Hey guys, just want to give you guys a quick sort of build guide-ish thing on what I've been working on this league. This is a Penance brand Trickster. I would not recommend running this build if you have not an Aura bot, and if you are running this as your starter, I would significantly discourage against that. But let's just show you how it runs. It's fast, it's very safe, and most importantly, I made sure that it takes advantage of every single aura that my aura bot is giving me. The only one that it may not take advantage of, which most aura bots I think don't run, is Determination, the one that gives you armor. Everything else, evasion, regen, resistance, every single like big elemental damage aura, you know, anger, wrath, hatred, it takes advantage of those. It's an extra chaos build. Thanks to one of the cluster jewels, which is why I don't recommend this as a starter, we get Penance brand to bounce between units, and it does a fair bit of damage. Bear in mind this is an enfeeble map, so we are dealing significantly less damage. Also, this is 42% more monster life. Anyways, I don't recommend running this without a aura bot because it does sort of become a little flaccid. Also, you can't take advantage of a really cheap scepter, Nebulous. That's like the best thing you can run for this build, and it also crazy synergizes with an aura bot because of all the extra resist they give you. What else? It's just very comfy, very fast. It does sort of lack on single target, but here's one thing you have to keep in mind about this build. Because it's an Eternity Shroud build, oh yeah, I should probably mention this uses Eternity Shroud. Because it's an Eternity Shroud build, it will scale. You can min-max it really hard and basically spend all league gearing for it because of just the bar of getting all Shaper gear. Yeah, you just literally just drop one or two brands, and because of the cluster jewel we're using, we're dropping 2 brands each time, and they do absolute massive work because we have so much cast speed with these things. They bounce around. And when it's time for a bit heavier single target, you have Storm Burst, which we're taking advantage of Infusion, because the Infusion is going to actually juice up our it's going to juice up our Penance brand's damage as well. So it sort of acts like an additional, I guess, half link. It's like something like 11 or 12% more damage for stuff that matches your tags. And you're also a little more tanky because you take a little bit less damage thanks to the infusion buff. We are getting reduced infusion or increased infusion effect on the tree. So that's even a little bit better, 25%. And yeah, I tried to run this as my starter, and it was very bad. I would not recommend that at all, because essentially you have to level it as Stormburst, because the gem setup for the Penance brand just doesn't work if you don't have the cluster jewels. Yeah. So that's how that works. Big thing to note is that you really need these nodes. This one here, Remarkable, you need at least 3, or you need 3 of them. Because you want to drop 2 brands every time you cast a brand, otherwise having to cast twice the number of brands in order to get to full brand uptime sucks. It's really terrible and it feels bad. And then you want just a ton of brand loyalty because they'll take more damage. Secret Runes is nice. Allows it to attach to stuff from farther away when it's not attached to shit. And Holy Conquest is really what allows you to clear in any amount of speed. Brands attaching to a new enemy each time they activate is absolutely crucial for Penance brand. Reason being is, the Penance brand is weird. It charges up an enemy and then it radiates damage once they hit max charge, unless the brand gets detached. If the brand gets detached, then it explodes immediately with a little bit less damage. So you really want them to just detach if it's in a crowd of enemies, because it's going to deal enough damage to kill stuff. You'll be overkilling otherwise, and you won't be killing things very quickly at all. In order to optimize our tree, we're using Intuitive Leap here. We're using a Thread of Hope here, getting a crap ton of nodes without having to spend nearly as many points. This is, like I said, not as optimized as it could be. I could still use Fatal Jewels and drop some stuff. You could always get, you know, a Timeless Jewel here. Our main setup is going to be Penance Brand with Controlled Destruction, Hypothermia because we're using Skitterbots, Arcane Surge. This one you could probably flex and do something else more damaging, but this is nice to have the extra, you know, spell damage. And we also have Arcane Surge effect, thanks to our Thread of Hope hitting Arcane Capacitor. This gear is, by the way, like super basic. The Eternity Shroud is like the most expensive thing here. We want additional conversion to lightning damage, so we are full converted to lightning. And then eventually I want to get some Rings of the Brotherhood. I spent a lot on this amulet. I think it was like 1 exalt. Besides that, it's just this and this. You could run 2 nebulae, but I want the shield. There's so many other pieces of gear that I need to make that will be shaped in order to get like as much damage as I can here, but I haven't managed to do it right now, and I kind of want to craft them. Anyways, that's pretty much it. When you're in single target mode, you drop down Wither Totems, get that extra chaos. Oh yeah, we are a Trickster. We are doing the whole physical to elemental damage to chaos, so we get Harness the Void, and that's really what we're playing off of. Obviously that was kind of blatant because we have Eternity Shroud up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks guys. Hope you enjoy, and don't try this without Norabot, and don't try it as your starter because the cluster jewels will take a lot of time to get, or money. The large jewels, I realize I'm doubling back, but the large jewels here, Doriani's Lesson, Prismatic Heart, Snowstorm is really good. Snowstorm is basically the one you want to get with Prismatic Hearts, kind of nice. Doriani's Lesson is really nice for the leech. But Snowstorm's a big one. And we also got Paralysis. Whatever, we took it. Getting a roll of 3 large spots is really what you want on the 8s, and that's what's going to cost you the most. These brand cluster jewels are super cheap, so those will be fun. But yeah, this cost a bit, and this cost a little bit, but that wasn't too bad. Anyways, if you try it, let me know what questions you have. Otherwise, enjoy. See you.